Now, you join me at a tremendously exciting moment. This is my third podcast of the hour. I've already recorded 2 podcasts in the last half hour or so. It's absolutely fantastic. We're on a roll here. We're on a. If I was a sausage, I'd be perfectly placed now for a Sunday morning, because I'd be on a nice breakfast roll. But that's not really what I meant here. Let's not get bogged down in all these unnecessary and inappropriate. What's that word for things that are. Metaphors. No, inappropriate. If you get a bad metaphor, that's like getting a cat running up the stairs backwards in a communist country while milking a cow, but looking up towards the ceiling with the clouds in the ceiling for some reason. Maybe they're painted there because it's a child's bedroom and someone decided to paint a happy scene. Anyway, the clouds are up on the ceiling there, and there's rain going upwards out of the clouds for some reason, although not upwards, probably across the ceiling, because the ceiling is a mural designed to be looked at from the bed while you're lying on the bed looking up. So really the rain isn't going across, it isn't going upwards, it's going across the ceiling, and someone painted this the wrong way around, so it looks like it's going up, and there's a sheep at the window looking in, not looking very interested, because sheep, quite frankly, isn't a... sheep don't really take an interest in that sort. Why would a sheep take an interest in the interior decor of a house, unless it was real grass or something? No offence to sheep or other farm animals, but they're not the sort of creatures who think about things like that. They spend most of their day going around eating grass, or trying to reproduce, or trying to figure out how to, I don't know, how to sleep. But no, anyway, they're in this bedroom. Anyway, and there's carpet on the bedroom, but the carpet is upside down. Now that's a more serious error than the mural, because if you've paid some carpet installer to do that and he put it in upside down, frankly, that means he's taking the piss, and more importantly, it means he thinks he can get away with it, which says a lot about you. So that's quite worrying. But nonetheless, I suppose you must be functioning reasonably well if you've managed to own a bedroom, although maybe I didn't specify. Maybe it's a bed sitting room flat that you've rented. But no, anyway, a bad metaphor is like that. Now, where was I? I don't know where I was when I started all that, but we'll just move along, because as I say, within the last hour, I've made 2 podcasts already, and I'm making this podcast now. It's probably obvious. I'm sitting here. I've got my microphone set up in front of me. I've got my netbook there. I've got my mixer. I've got my big fancy mixer over there. It's for controlling the sound quality, getting everything balanced out so that it doesn't. So that it doesn't wreck your head, because you have to have some control. I know this isn't a frigging radio station, but you have to have some quality control. So that's why I have this mixer here. So here it is. You probably can't see it except through sound, because this isn't a visual medium. This is an audio medium. But here's the mixer here. Yeah, it's got all sorts of knobs and switches and plugs and sockets and things on it. I only use around 3 of the knobs, if I'm perfectly honest. I use 7 sockets, 3 or 4 knobs and 2 switches on this. Sometimes I pay attention to the little lights, especially when they go red and start flashing as they did a moment ago. But no, that's the mixer for you. What else did I want to tell you about? I've had a lot of Red Bull Cola. I've had a can of Monster Energy drink just now, and before that I was drinking Red Bull Cola. It doesn't give you... They don't advertise, unlike conventional Red Bull energy drink, they don't advertise Red Bull Cola as giving you wings. because I don't think it does. It's just basically a drink with basically it's cola. It gives you a sense of having drunk cola. That's what if you were an advertising company that you were starting some sort of high risk product and you wanted to not take any unnecessary chances with being done for false advertising, and let's say it was the cola. The best way to advertise that on a low risk strategy would be to say Red Bull Cola leaves you with the feeling of having drunk some Red Bull Cola. No one can complain about that. It's the same with anything. If I'm selling a piece of soap, I don't need to make claims about its cleaning abilities. All I need to say is this soap leaves you with the feeling that you've rubbed some soap under your oysters or your oxters. Oh, that reminds me. A few weeks ago, I made reference to oxters as being the space under your arm where the hair grows of your male. No, apparently I got that wrong, and I caused some confusion among the general public, including Manny the mailman. I think it was Manny the mailman anyway, who said he'd never heard of oxters, which is, as it turns out, was perfectly reasonable of him to have never heard of oxters, because the word I was trying to think of was oysters, and I failed to think of that. I used oxters instead. So, oysters. Oh no, wait. Oh no, oxters is the one that I should have used, and oysters is the one that I did. So that probably caused even more confusion. It's not oysters, it's oxters. Anyway, that's probably a local thing. You've never heard of it anyway, so the fact that I bring this up again and correct myself only makes it even more useless to a sequence than it already was. I can't even remember what context I was using it in. I think I made some pun regarding oysters. I said the oysters under your arms and something about the oysters in the sea. And as it turns out, that was completely inappropriate because I was talking about oxters. So I'm putting myself down here. I should have just stood up for myself and said, no, I didn't mean oysters, or it's perfectly right. The fact that you've never heard of it, Mr. the Mailman, doesn't make it wrong. You're not always right about everything. Sometimes I'm right about things. Sometimes we're both right about things simultaneously. In which case, there's no friction, which makes for a bad drama. If two people agree with each other on a podcast, there's nothing in there for a freaking. You're not going to get made into a movie starring Bruce Willis and who else? Your man out of Harry Potter with the red hair. If you have him and Bruce Willis in the film. A film based around the podcast, because that's be the next stage. You have this thing now where you have Ricky Gervais being made into an animated series for TV based on the sound from his podcast. The next thing is you'll have Bruce Willis, the fellow with the red hair from the Harry Potter movies, or maybe you'll have the original fellow with the red hair from the Harry Potter books. Maybe they'll get him instead, and they'll put him in the film, and then they'll have they'll have someone who used to be in the there's usually someone who used to be on Saturday Night Live and he's moving on now to films. So you'll probably have, I don't know who's in Saturday Night Live the last few years, but I'm sure there's somebody who's up and coming and ready to go into movies now. So they'll have him and her as well. Who else will they have? They'll have your man, your man who everyone hates, but he's in everything at the moment. Your man, the comedy fella. What's his name with the eyebrows? Somebody or other. You know who I mean. He's been in pretty much everything lately. And then you'll have, who else will you have? Your one who was in that thing about the teenager having the baby. What's her name? The thing where they're singing, her and the boyfriend are singing, and she's having the baby, and then so she was in something else as well. She was in that thing lately that everyone's going to, the thing with the dreams. So you know who I mean. If you know who she is, you know who I mean by now, and if you don't know who she is, it doesn't really matter. It's like, that would be like me going up to you and saying, do you know that fella Philip? I'll tell you something interesting. interesting about him based on stuff that you need to already know about him, and then you'll say, no, I don't know who he is. Well, I'll tell you who he is, and now here's some information that still makes no sense to you because you don't know him. No, there's no point doing that at all. That's an absolute... that's a waste of someone's time, especially if it's a nice warm day and they could be out mowing the grass or something. You can't be going around wasting to people's time with pointless analogues. Not analog. What's the... No, not analog. What's that word for stories? Yeah, stories. Just say stories. Giving someone a story that doesn't work on them because it doesn't. They don't have the required knowledge set of the people involved. That's just a waste of time, and quite frankly, it's rude. Anyway, good morning.